Manchester United's upcoming game, Stoke City away. We drew 1-1 at Old Trafford. Really disappointing result earlier in the season. This one is a must-win game for any hopes of top four and challenging for the top two places, at least in the Premier League. But we've been hearing tonight that Memphis Depay has agreed, I think, to join Lyon now, which is really disappointing for Manchester United that it hasn't worked out. A bit like Morgan Schneiderlin, who's gone to Everton. Really disappointed, had high hopes for the pair of these players. They are both going to come to Manchester United and both be first team regulars. I really did. I thought Morgan Schneiderlin would be a fantastic player for Manchester United. Was really excited when we signed him ahead of potentially going to Arsenal. But it didn't work out, and I wish him obviously the best at Everton. He's obviously featured against Man City so far, but Memphis Depay hasn't featured enough at all for Manchester United. He certainly should have been playing a lot more games this season to see what he could do. Last season was a difficult season for him. We know that at times he was horseshit, but still scored about 7 goals for Manchester United last season. It can take time in the Premier League. I would have liked to seen him go out on loan to another Premier League club, just see what he could do till the end of the season, then sell him if he performs badly. But he has scored a lot of goals in the Eredivisie. I think he got 22 or something like that in the season when they won the league. He was top scorer there. But he's off now. Apparently, though, there is a buyback clause going to be in the contract. Whether that's true or not, whether it's just dog shit, we will have to wait and see. But to be honest, not many clubs buy their players back. I know Morata went back to Real Madrid, but not too many players come back to clubs after they've gone, especially if they haven't gone to the team by now. He's 22, coming on 23, I think. He's got to be playing football now. His time's running out for him to make it at the top level if he's not playing games. You've got to, at a young age, play enough football, and he hasn't been playing that this season, which is disappointing for me, is the fact that he hasn't even been playing reserve team football, which would have been better than any football. But I do wish him all the best. He won't come back. I just hope that he doesn't kill it there in France and then go to another club and absolutely smash it there, another elite club. I don't mind too much if he smashes it at Lyon, as long as he doesn't go to another club and haunt Manchester United in the future. But we'll have to see. Maybe he's potentially a bit like Nani, frustrating at times, but can be world class on their day. We saw flashes last season of Memphis being very, very good, but just hasn't worked out. I thought he would be really good for Manchester United. He's a big, powerful, strong lad. I really thought he would be great in the Premier League. I was more excited to see him, much more excited to see him come to the Premier League than I was Marshall, because we hadn't really seen too much of Marshall. I'd seen Memphis Depay playing the World Cup as well, but it hasn't happened. Anyway, we move on to the game against Stoke. We've got to win this game with or without players like Memphis Depay in our squad anymore, who aren't even playing games at all. We're hopeful we will see an attacking lineup in this game, because Manchester United have got to go out there and win this. After dropping them points at home to Liverpool, we have to win this game. If we don't, we're putting our top 4 place in jeopardy, because all the other teams at the top just constantly keep winning. So you have to keep winning your games. This season it's going to be probably a very high points tally to finish in the top 4. Most likely a lot higher than it was last season. But Manchester United have pretty much a fully fit squad. It does look like Luke Shaw could be back in this game, potentially on the substitutes bench. If he doesn't, he will be back for the whole game and the Wigan game. The reports have come out tonight that he's happy at Manchester United and not unhappy. There was reports before that he could be sold, which from what I gather have been horseshit. Jose Mourinho isn't looking to sell him on, which is great news. He's had a broken leg, so he's taken time to get back from that. He's had a few injuries, niggles and that, and I think he's still getting over that. But Jose Mourinho's waiting until he's fully fit, and then he's going to unleash him in some hopefully easier games, because we're almost as good as through to the League Cup final now, barring a complete catastrophe in that second leg. So we've got to go out there and get the job done in that second leg, but Luke Shaw could easily ease his way back in that type of game. I wouldn't expect him to start in this game. Potentially he could be on the substitutes bench, but we will have to wait and see. I would expect him to go with Diamond at left back, but I would sooner go with Blind. It will be Valencia at right back, Rojo and Jones as the centre backs, De Gea obviously in goal. Pogba, Carrick and Herrera need to be the midfielders. Haven't heard anything with Carrick being injured. Was pretty bad in that first half against Liverpool. Probably his worst half in a while, but I don't know why he got taken off. Probably tactical, but we will have to wait and see. The time to rest Carrick will obviously be against Hull or Wigan in the coming weeks, so there's no point resting players for this game. Zlatan will be up front. I would go keep Marshall in the team. Marshall wasn't very good. I didn't think... Well, some people thought he was very dangerous, and I thought he could have done a lot more against a young, inexperienced back who he could... I thought he was on the edge of having him on toast in that game against Liverpool, but they put a lot of men around Martial, and it wasn't actually that easy. I watched it back again, and I did criticise Martial a bit, but they did put 2 or 3 players around him at all times because they knew that if he ran at that fullback, he would have him on toast all game. And unfortunately he didn't. It wasn't Martial's best game and obviously got taken off, but I would like to see him back in the team. Probably Juan Mata would have been the better option for that Liverpool game in hindsight, but you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Jose Mourinho picks the team. If it's wrong, he gets the blame. If it's right, he gets the plaudits. But you can't always get it right. Now, moving on to the rest of the forward line. Martial would go for on one side. Mkhitaryan would keep his place. Probably wasn't his best in that game. And obviously Zlatan will be up front. Zlatan has been banging the goals and doesn't always have the best of games, but still comes up with the goods. He will be in the team. Probably Rashford and Rooney will feature against Hull City in the League Cup and against Wigan, so there's no need to rest any players for this game. They're going to get plenty of game time in that, so is Juan Mata and players like that, so there's enough game time for them. I mean, Jesse Lingard could well start this game. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he drops Martial. I've got a feeling he probably will. Doesn't usually give him 2 consecutive games in a row, but we will have to wait and see. But this game's not going to be an easy game for Manchester United. Stoke at home, away, well, at their place, is never an easy game for Manchester United. We usually, over the past few years, we haven't always beat them at home. But in the early years, when they were first in the Premier League, we used to thump them quite comfortably at home, but really struggle away from home, which has been the way for most teams, the top teams in the Premier League over the years. It's always a nasty place to go. It's horrible. It's going to be probably a cold, wet, miserable day on Saturday. It's just not going to be very nice, but hopefully Manchester United can just get over the line. They've got a lot of players that are on paper are alright players. I mean, they've got Peter Crouch, who's scoring goals at the moment. He's scored some goals. They've got Arnautovic, who's been scoring again. I'm not too sure on Arnautovic. Sometimes he looks great, sometimes I'm not so sure. Shaqiri is in and out, but on his day he's a fantastic player. And Joe Allen popped up with the goal when Manchester United drew 1-1 before, so he's one that we're going to have to watch out for scoring a goal. But I think Manchester United are going to get over the line in this one. I'm going to go for 2-1. Hopefully Marshall, if he does play, can score another cracker against Stoke City. It's got 2 in 2 seasons, almost similar goals, so hopefully he can come up with the goods again, whether he starts or comes off the bench. But I think Manchester United will just get over the line. These top teams at the moment seem to be a lot better than the weaker teams, and if we can win this, I think we've got Watford and Hull in the league coming up soon, so that's going to be fantastic if Manchester United can get back on a winning run. We don't want to let that 1-1 draw against Liverpool dampen us too much. We can't afford to have any more slip-ups now. Just got to get on a roll again on a 16-game unbeaten run. We've got to win this. Anyway, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon.